Blizzard, can you live with yourself? Are you not ashamed with what you've done to the AI artwork of Warcraft 3 with this latest patch 2.0? Well, Neo's not too pleased apparently, so we're going to find out what's going down in Back to Warcraft Town. So if you enjoy this video and you like the content, then go over to Neo Back to Warcraft here. I'll link it in the video description and we'll get started. Blizzard, this is shameful! How bad AI usage ruins AI art.
Hey YouTube! 2 days ago we got hit with patch 2.0 for Warcraft 3 Reforged. It was part of the big Warcraft Direct 30-year anniversary celebration of Warcraft, and the first days were pretty good. The updates seemed pretty good. We were raving about the new menu UI. We were taken back to 20 years ago when we had the frozen throne in the background of the menu, and we spent time in chat channels that are back now as well. We looked at the terrain updates and we love them. As a melee player, this is the first time that anything Reforged related is used by melee players because it's true to the original and looks damn good on the battlefield. Now that 2 days have passed, we gotta do one of these videos where we criticize. And in this case, we have to criticize very harshly. And I want to put out a little disclaimer before that. I am still incredibly thankful that we now have a dedicated Warcraft RTS developers team. This is not normal for 20, 25-year-old games, and
I suppose you have to give benefit of the doubt and assume it's a team. But dedicated team or one guy with a very powerful in real life spell called mirror image. So there's looks like there's 4 of them working, but it's really only just one guy.
It shows that some people at Blizzard truly care about this. We also have to say that this is probably all work in progress, and we are hopeful that the result that we had with patch 2.0 was a result of a deadline that was set prior to the direct presentation. So it had to be finished by then. So I'm rooting for you guys. Go. But the product in some aspects that was delivered on Wednesday is poor. And it's not only poor, it's also shameful.
Shameful, it's a strong word.
One of the most important aspects of the Reforged launch and the criticism towards Reforged is the art. The art of models and the way that things were changed. So everybody hates the Reforged graphics. Everybody hates the Reforged models. Everybody wants the classic graphics just better. This is what most remasters are doing. So the community was quite ecstatic when we saw this in the patch notes. Added HD versions of classic units, buildings, visual effects, heroes, environments, and icons. This is what we always wanted.
It's a trap.
And this was quite surprising, to be honest, because obviously Activision Blizzard King was acquired by Microsoft, biggest acquisition in history of gaming. And shortly after, unfortunately, as it is so often via takeover, Phil Spencer announced Microsoft was laying off 2,000 staffers. Although there was no breakdown of the cuts, a second source told Wired that many of those laid off were 2D artists. This claim jives with the studio's eagerness to use AI for concept art. It also makes sense considering that models are much better at generating 2D art than they were even a year ago. And so the first thing we have to talk about is 2D art, is icons. Another disclaimer. I am well aware that the Warcraft RTS team is not big. I'm also aware that the budget for the Warcraft RTS team is probably relatively small. It won't create cutscenes like in Diablo 4 when we conquered hell. Absolutely. And if
a man can dream,
I'm not even necessarily hating too much on AI. The ethical side of things is a whole different discussion, especially when you fire people to replace them with AI. But if you use AI, the product has to be good.
I think we just live in a different time and age now. Humanity's just reached that next point. Think like the Industrial Revolution. machinery, how that all changed how people worked and lived and got things done. I think AI is just at that point where it's getting stronger and stronger, noticeably stronger and stronger, where we work around AI rather than sort of truly against it, or it does its own separate thing. It's now kind of more like a coexistence with AI, a parasitic relationship. So you can't really blame someone for creating art using AI and then touching up upon it. Is that a bit more creatively bankrupt? Yes, than if they were to create it from scratch, but realistically, they can create that artwork a lot more quickly now, a lot more efficiently now, and well, this day and age, everything is go, 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 more, now, now, now. So I just think it's okay to use AI art if someone is managing it. So you work with it. You work alongside the AI doing its job, and then you do your job to make sure the AI does its job. So together, you get it to look clean, crisp, clear, and, well, almost like you wouldn't know it was AI.
And what was delivered here on Wednesday is nothing but trash.
Trash.
It is good that the icons are delivered in higher resolution. And I have to retcon something that I said on stream when the icons that I will present to you here were presented to me. On my stream I said, well, it's if you show me the icon in full size, big on the screen, yeah, I see some issues. But if it's just a small icon in a shop, in a command card, will people even notice? And now after 2 days of gaming, I say, hell yeah, I noticed. I noticed the higher resolution, everything is sharper. So I do see the need for higher resolution icons. It just looks great when things are sharp. I also notice that in the icons that we have in the patch right now, things are off. Things don't look right. And that's not supposed to be the case.
Shocking.
Let's take a look at what we got. Because what we got is bad quality of AI upscale that puts the original art to shame. It's no, that was the wrong sentence, sorry. That insults the original art and the original creators. Boots of Speed, an iconic item in Warcraft 3. Boots, lightning, emerald, there you go.
Yeah.
The SD version of an icon in Warcraft 3 is 64 by 64. The version we use now in patch 2.0 is 512 times 512. And in the middle, I put a product that the people of the Hive Workshop put out in 2023. The Hive Workshop is the modders community of Warcraft 3, and they were the ones to report these issues first. Well,
that's interesting because the SD version, I'm pretty sure those gems there, they look like they're green, don't they? But Hive Workshop's interpretation didn't continue the green gems along it. They were just sort of almost metal nails hammered in or something. And this one really kind of didn't manage to adapt from the original properly. I mean, overall, if you weren't paying proper attention, you would think it's done its job. But as soon as you start really looking at it, yeah, it hasn't. It's a bit more blurry. It's scuffed off in places. It doesn't mesh correctly. And over here is obviously most noticeably what is going on here. The AI just didn't work that one out.
we were
still rivets
on the ladder.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Looked at the terrain and tried the skins. They dug up the files and showed us what was done to our beloved icons. And this is usually the case when a patch happens. They notice first, they start to make waves, and everyone else is only starting to notice it way later, when maybe it's already too late to complain. So shout out to the Hive Workshop.
Well done.
This comparison now is obviously a little unfair because some items are small, some are big. So let's put them all at the same size. The SD version at this size is very, very pixely. You can barely see,
but you can see the green gems.
It's that old. So when it comes to like pixels and stuff, obviously the new one is better. The Hive Workshop looks good that way. It's not perfect. It is also made with AI, and it's faithful. You can already see a problem starting to emerge.
Not 100% hate
especially
faithful.
on the right-hand side. Elements of the shoe start to
It has
disappear.
better color in the left-hand
In
side.
comparison to the original one, the green emeralds at the top right-hand side start to fade. And especially in the patch 2.0 version, there's a lot of artifacts and there's a lot of smudge. You can see it at the chin, like it's supposed to be clean gray silver when it's not. The gold starts to blur out a little, and don't get me started on the tip of the foot, which is just, I don't know what this is. It's a disgrace.
It's
That's
like
what it is.
steel cap,
So I thought, what if
so he can kick
I
people.
take the original icon and I bring it to a free online AI image upscale?
I haven't actually ever played around with these things, so at some point I'll have to do it.
What's the result?
I want to see what happens.
And it's
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
This cost literally 0 cents
Okay, that's pretty
and was
good.
a product of maybe a minute. And it's a lot cleaner. There's still some issues, but way less than what we see in the patch 2.01. So
I think that's cleaner.
this is my third recording of the video, and one of the recordings I put out already, and then I had to take it down because I'm an idiot, and I chroma keyed the screen grab, so every green element was gone from the recording. But it was uploaded to YouTube already, and a couple of people, once again...
It does look a bit plasticky. That is a negative to it. Looks like a Wellington boot, kind of rubbery. But otherwise, I think it's sharper in terms of the contrast difference. You know, like this looks way too smudged and someone's like oil painted or something. This one looks more like it's been iterated a few times upon.
And Hive Workshop saw this, and they said, hey, Neo, I saw what you did, and in a couple of minutes, I put together new icons. And what Hive was able to deliver in 2 minutes is this.
Wow.
This is great.
Looks a little bit feminine, though. I don't like the high heels. It's like a kind of... It's just the angle of it down here. I guess that suits the female demon hunter more.
And this is for free.
But that's pretty good.
And this is what is
It's
possible
got a lot of shine
with
to it.
AI. Everything is clean. Very little smudge. True to the original, sharp. That is an AI product that I can get behind.
Product.
The right-hand side is an insult. And you might think, hey, Neo, that's probably the only one,
Hey,
right?
Neo.
No. A priest. Core unit of the humans. This is a little trickier because hair is involved. Faces are involved. It's not that easy to get it right, and I get that. But the patch 2.0 version looks like a painter microdosed on LSD and started to draw.
Yeah, the priest is
Colors
seeing
are
some
all over the
stuff.
place. Artifacts are all over the place. This ear looks like you should really go and check a doctor.
It's part undead.
And this cannot be used in a game.
Oh, come on. I get what he's saying. It's very dramatic, though. But yeah, you can get away with this. Should we let Blizzard get away with this? No, not in the long run. But this is stuff they can hopefully work on. So I'm glad for the video because it's addressing the situation. So good for Neo on that. But yeah, this is obviously not the highest priority right now, but it is definitely something that needs to be worked upon. Just someone, hopefully the janitor can find, I don't know. I mean, there's like 6,000 icons, so it's a lot to go through to spend, even if you just spent 1 minute on each, and that's if you only spent 1 minute and you got it perfect and you didn't have to make any changes, and you're not really going to do that. That's obviously going to take a lot longer because I've done editing work before. It takes a lot longer. Everything takes longer than you think it's going to take, and then it takes longer than what you thought that was going to take. So it's a lot of work. Really, it's something that can totally be done over like a period of weeks, I think. I mean, some people just say, oh, I could just do that in a day. You really think you could take every single Warcraft 3 icon that's ever been created, just the icons alone, nothing else that's ever been done, and do that all in a day, and I don't think so. It takes time. It takes time to do this stuff, but it can be done, as Neo showed with the Hive Workshop interpretation back here. That is quite nice. That is basically good enough to pass as far as I'm concerned. I'm a bit scuffed about the heal. I feel like that kind of messes with how I interpret the boot to look in my mind's eye. I kind of like it being more like one surface as opposed to like a separate surface here. But yeah.
Go and check. And this cannot be used in a game. And I thought, okay, faces might be rough. Cut them some slack. But again, Hive Workshop user delivered this. And
oh no,
there's nothing to complain about here.
I got a few complaints, mate. Why has he got McDonald's for a fucking hairline? What's wrong? Why is he so grumpy? What happened to the definition in his ears? Like, there's a few things to complain. You can't just say there's nothing to complain. I can pick up a few right away. He looks a bit gimpy. And I like his mouth. He's got like this kind of Simpsons side face thing where it looks like he's sort of he's got like a fish hook in there pulling his sort of like his flesh out. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that one. Sorry to the guy that made that one. I think you stick more to like the original in this circumstance. But I get it. At least it looks like there's more definition to the facial structures and features. This, again, looks way too much like a freaking oil painting. So it's the AI hasn't been used correctly here.
Maybe, you know, the hair in front of the ear. But that's about it. Look at the difference of quality that can be provided with $0. The right-hand side shall not exist.
I feel like the right-hand side, you could get away with it if it was the Spirit Walker. That's like the only unit that could get away with looking like that.
Another glaring issue that is noticeable here is that not only was the inside of the icon remaster upscaled, also the frame. And this is a massive problem because every single frame of every single icon was upscaled in a different way. So all frames are very inconsistent. Some look like this, some look like that. Some look like this, some look like that.
Hey, Taker.
Will rise again.
Poor
It's
quality.
about time. Never trust an
React witty, yeah.
Then we have this.
You
Command
caught me
cards
again.
are
Welcome.
essential in Warcraft to move your units around. These command cards are used.
I'm going to say that this is the one that bugs me by far the most. There's some icons that I don't think have transitioned well, but this really bugs me. That greenish hue on the red, because of the weird way that it's been upscaled and sharpened. In Photoshop, if you sharpen an image enough times, it'll kind of come up with a lot of artifacts and pixelizations. It works a couple of times on a blurry image to make it somewhat better to visually see, but it still doesn't look great. It's not ideal. You want to do it properly. However, they've created this weird Ghostbusters hue that's going on here, like Slimer's part of the logo now.
Usually black background and a bright red sign on it. Everybody knows them. You can move command, attack command, stop, patrol, etc., etc., etc. Essentials. And this really shouldn't be hard.
Have you done your video yet, Taker? Taker needs to do his own his own videos so I can react to them. Steal everyone's content.
Red lines on a black background. But what the patch 2.0 Reforged icons do is to add this green shimmer around it on every single one of these icons. I don't want this green shimmer.
I just kind of noticed this thing as well. It kind of looks weird. It's almost like it's deliberately put in there, but it's just how it is. Like, it's not straight down the line because of the way it's been upscaled when it was originally done. It wasn't just 90-degree angle. It's kind of like cuffed off a little bit, like it's physically being painted, but that's a lie. That's not really, that's just how AI is interpreting it.
In my command card. It's not supposed to be there. It wasn't there originally. Hive
I don't
didn't
know
put it
how
in
this
there
happened.
with their AI. My free online upscale version didn't put it in there. And also the Hive Workshop. This is not the greatest.
Does it matter when ranked is shit? Yes. All of this stuff matters because at the moment it actually seems, well, it's still somewhat skeptical on it, but at the moment it seems like there's somewhat of a team that's somewhat potentially still working on stuff to make improvements for Warcraft 3. I still don't know truly how committed any of that really is, but all of this stuff is stuff we would like to be addressed if we want to genuinely say Warcraft 3 is in a really good spot and has been taken care of.
Example, I guess, but you see how easy it can be. And that's a shame. And that's especially a shame when hundreds of people were fired that were supposed to create this art. I think we established that these icons have to go and that they should be replaceable relatively easy. I am aware that there is a lot of icons in this game, but
there's a lot.
Unacceptable quality.
A lot.
Of the Blizzard AI. As I said, using AI for that team specifically, I have no issue with the quality of the product of a multi-billion-dollar company. I have an issue with. Next. Models. We want our classic models in high definition. We want them to look good. And we want that we can play this game for decades to come. And we hated Reforged graphics because they were not true to the original, while the models itself look great. And there are projects that can make them shine in an environment that is not melee competition. For melee competition, Reforged is bad. So
thank you,
we were so
Potato.
hopeful when we saw it in the patch notes that they up-res the models. And we saw this. No, that is not what we saw. Sorry. The problem with the models is that they're barely noticeably better. And a lot of remasters already did it right. In-house remasters did it right. StarCraft, Battlecruiser, iconic. Left-hand side, bunch of pixels, but we love them. Right-hand side, way more pixels, definitely identifiable, true to the original, great. Exactly what people want. Not only does this go for StarCraft, this also goes for Diablo as well. Left.
Give credit to the Diablo one. That one looks hella sharp. The StarCraft one, I can see sort of issues when it's brought up that close. It still kind of looks like it's a little bit painted, the remastered version, and not like cleanly created. Do you know what I mean? When I say painted, I mean there's like, it's not done to the pixel. It's kind of like a brush stroke. So there's still some issues there, but that is clean, that right one. That Diablo remaster, Diablo 2 remaster, wasn't it? They did a really good job on that one.
Left-hand side, very pixelated, remaster, amazing. So this, of course, a little easier than a reforged model, but one could say this was also delivered by Activision Blizzard. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That's weird.
Really
that one,
freaking good. A beautiful, beautiful.
I gotta say, the left one looks like it's got more charm. Although I'm used to more pixelated graphics.
Game that looks amazing. Great remaster. And we saw this.
Yep, this is 100% what we're getting. Whoever did the AI filter on this one did a pretty good job. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're complaining about these AI filters that were using the icons and that, yeah, fair enough. Those are kind of scuffed. But whoever was like, this is what it should look like. I hope they're still on the team so we can pull them in and use their ideas, because they kind of got the concept art right here. I would say this is pretty good. I'd say the footman looks a little cartoony. Like, there's kind of like a Warcraft rumbly look to some of this structure. Like, the lumber mill looks way more cartoony than some of the other buildings, like the Arcane Vault and the farm. That's a pretty distinctly different looking lumber mill. I still like it. If that was what it was, I would accept that and be fine with it. But if you look at that footman, for example, he kind of looks more like a toy soldier, as opposed to, say, for example, the rifleman or the mortar team that look a bit more akin to how they would normally look.
On the Warcraft 3 shop side, on Wowhead, on the press kit. And this is exactly what we want. But unfortunately, this is not what we get.
I don't know, Potato.
This is concept art.
Any trash
This
TDs,
is
probably.
what someone thought the game should look, and I think that someone is goddamn right. Look at the town hall. It is fairy tale-y. It is gorgeous. It's a bit different, but it is true to the original and is very faithful. The colors are top-notch. There's details. The models are very, very fine. Everything is readable. But this is probably a screenshot with drawings over them and maybe a little AI usage as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what
Very much
every
likely.
Warcraft fan wants.
Yeah, the trees are definitely different, aren't they? They're more like the original Warcraft 3 trees, but not the classic HD Reforged trees that we've seen, that I still quite like as well. These are a bit more cleaner trees that are more like the original Warcraft 3 ones. So it's interesting because those are different as well. And that's definitely not what we got so far.
It all along. And this was very likely a mistake to put it on the shop. This was very, very likely not the Warcraft team putting it in the shop, but marketing people saw it and they, hey, this looks great, let's put it in the shop. It was removed from that shop very quickly after the patch hit, but it's still out there. And now
I feel like there's still one of those images that are being used on Buy Warcraft 3. I don't know where this other shop was that used these other images, because I just didn't know where that information was and no one's shown it to me. So I don't know how true that is that they use this stuff to advertise. But if you go to Buy Warcraft 3, the undead image is missing now. What was it on the other one? The remaster. Warcraft 3 remastered battle chest. See if that pops up or not. See, it's definitely not there now. There was an undead image. There was one image, it was undead, and that one was one of the concept arts. But this human one, I don't remember seeing it there.
now people have seen it and people want this.
There's like a website for it, but that's like a specific Blizzard Press website. That's not one they use to necessarily... that's for content creators and such, but... Yeah, I don't remember seeing this
and it's
image
still
on the
press
store.
side, by the way.
BVFD says, to me, it seems like they probably started with Warcraft 1, then Warcraft 2, then back to Warcraft 3, which is how it should have really been. I played Warcraft 1 campaigns yesterday, and in my opinion, it's almost perfect. Units are great, quality of life changes are great. Starting Warcraft 2 now, looks-wise, it's not as noticeable. Just seems like they thought they could do it all before Warcraft Direct and realized they couldn't. Yeah, it's just another case of it being rushed, kind of. I noticed that and said that yesterday in my video on one of these reacts. I've done so many of these reacts, oh my gosh, I don't even know which one it is anymore. But I said on one of them that it did feel like they were time pressured and they kind of put out what they put out. But if they've got a team, or at least, you know, some ambition for a team that's actually actively taking on board feedback and working on it, then it's just a matter of time, which is fine.
What people got in game was this. And it is barely noticeable.
It looks weird.
The colors pop a little more. And I want to say the terrain, great upgrade. The shadows, amazing upgrade. We love this. You made us damn proud with that, and you delivered with that. But if you just look at the models, at the peons and the Great Hall, this is nothing. It's nothing.
It looks a little
This is
blurry, the
direct
image.
comparison. Arthas. Everybody knows, everybody loves.
It's your boy.
If you look at the book at the hammer, you can clear that the new model is definitely sharper. There is definitely an improvement. But this is not what was envisioned, and this is not what you're hoping for when you see
Yeah, that's
HD
right.
models. It's a tiny improvement. What about this? A torrent. You can see the signs on the totem. They pop. They're sharper. There is an improvement. But it is also the very same model. It is what it is.
This is closer to what I think classic. Oh, I have to be careful how I say this because I've already explained this multiple times. But in my envisionment of what it should be classic, which is the original, not touched any way, shape, or form. Classic HD, which would basically be 1080p minimum resolution, effectively. So the models look sharper, like they do. For example, this Tauren Chieftain, you can clearly see there's a sharpness to that. And there's a sharpness to like the muscle definition. It's not quite as blurry. I would prefer a little bit more than this, but this is the idea. That would be Classic HD, and then Classic Plus would basically be like different looking version of the Tauren. But it is very much in the spirit of actually Warcraft 3. So those Hive Workshop models that I've shown time and time again of like Gul'dan or Cho'Gall, and there's loads of them. There's loads. Something more akin to that. But Reforged really just... I don't know what they were smoking with Reforged. I don't know how they managed to get to that decision. I've said this time and time again, but it's just like, how did they decide that this was the way to go? It's just like, I guess we're in for it now. We have to make everything look like this. They decide they created one character, like one footman or one grunt or something like that. They go, right, we're going into the deep end. Let's do this on everything.
And then you dig a little deeper and you see this.
That's a good one to freeze it on. What the hell? Oh my god! Lovely. Hive Workshop, Hive Phaser says, as a graphical designer, I'd like to point out some things have been made sharper, which are supposed to be gradient flows. Yes, I assume that's another issue of using AI, because AI is going to interpret it. Even if you wasn't AI and you was a human being, imagine being a human being and actually editing someone else's work. You still don't know everything that that person intended with every single paint stroke that they used, that Samwise Didier used. You can interpret it and assume that this mesh is essentially like a kind of, what would you call it? Like a chain mail or something like that. There's like these kind of gradients in between. That's the linings. Or it's like, it's not plate armor. What's the thing that's in between plate armor and chain mail? It's something like that, if there is one. You kind of get what I'm saying, though. But the AI is going to just do what it's going to do, and it might get it completely wrong. But a human might still not even interpret it correctly. Scale mail. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. Scale mail. Not snail mail.
Elven Worker and Spellbreaker. What the heck happened here?
I know what happened to this guy. It's the same thing that happened to Khadgar. He basically aged like 50 years, didn't he? When he was working with Medivh, because something went wrong.
Derper Worker and the Spellbreaker is seeing the light. I don't know what his eyes are doing. Maybe you should get more vision in the next balance patch, because he's looking at it like behind his back. And AI smudge everywhere. This is not a true HD vision of what we want. No.
It looks funny. I'll grant you that.
This is not what you want to deliver. This is not what the fans want to play with.
I kind of would play with that, to be honest.
And the thing is, again, that the community did it better. The community did better icons at the Hive Workshop. The community provided a better ladder with War 3 Champions. The community delivered better campaigns with Reforged that has the updated cutscenes and enhanced gameplay and enhanced lore compared to what was delivered with Reforged. We have Chronicles of the Second War as a custom campaign that brings us the story of Warcraft 2 into Warcraft 3 in an amazing way. And these custom campaigns, they goddamn know how to use Reforged graphics. These cutscenes are stunning. And this is why I will never say Reforged graphics should be deleted. It should be preserved for projects like that. But for us melee players, they remain unusable. And this is why Kenshin, a War 3 Champions supporter, helper, teammate,
buddy, pal,
made it his task to provide an asset pack that has HD models for Warcraft 3, for the SE Warcraft
I wonder if this
3.
is the
So you
same
don't even
guy.
have to use
Like I've
the
seen one.
low FPS Reforged graphics.
I like the Keep of the Grove.
And Kenshin, who is an artist, didn't draw the models himself, as far as I'm aware, but he gathered existing models of the community.
I don't know if this is the same guy, but there was also one that sort of like took those StarCraft 2 HD Warcraft 3 models that were done in like 2018 or something like that, and sort of tried to start porting those into a Warcraft 3.
And he did this. The TC is gorgeous. The Shaman is perfect. The Blade Master looking stunning. The wolves in the back, the Tauren, the wards, everything is a bit different,
Bit dark,
but still faithful,
but
and
definitely
it's crisp. And
pretty
it
nice, yeah.
looks great.
There's
and
a crispness
it's
to it I
somewhat
like.
modern. And it still pops and it's still readable. Undead. Cryptlord. Perfect. The A-bomb on the upper left-hand side. The Infernal, everything. I do have some issues with these models for sure. Like the wings of the Destroyer aren't perfect. It is a $0 project though. Workforce, of course, and time. But this is something that can be delivered if you really want it. Night Elf. Warden.
Hey, I think that mountain giant's used in the direct strike. It's got a funny looking face. It looks like it's seen some things.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Mountain
that Keeper of the
giant,
Grove.
amazing.
That's the one, I think.
The owls, the crows, everything is there. For
The
humans,
human
the
ones are
phoenix.
nice. Because they're just a bit brighter, aren't they? A bit more colourful. Like there's more contrast. There's more popping between like the colour iterations. I would say the human one looks the best one there already, just on first glance.
Pops. The water elementals are great. Muradin, top notch. Everything is readable.
I still think it's a bit dark though.
This is what we want.
It's like, kind of like a dark
is
shading
what
on bits.
HD Warcraft is supposed to look like.
But that's really
not
good effort.
A little bit of an upscale.
Another round?
And as it was said in the Warcraft Direct, if something's not good enough, make it better. And the SD models need to be better. The icons need to be better.
Even the tome looks different. Tome of experience.
Blizzard quality was a thing that was said for decades. I know it is the old Blizzard and we haven't seen it in a long time. And I know there was a deadline and I know that fresh releases are oftentimes plagued with bugs. But this is about the art. And art rarely gets updated if there's not a big fuss about it. So hopefully this is opening some eyes that this is not acceptable. This is not tolerable. What was delivered in patch 2.0. This is an insult to the original creators. And this was a bit of shattered dreams for the people who want updated classic models.
What are you talking about, Croyville? Do you think the fact he hasn't worked a 9 to 5 with a budget and deadlines for so long, he is being a bit too harsh? Who? Neo works like 24/7 at the moment. This is a man that works overtime, so I don't think that would be the correct assumption to make.
I really hope that with given time and some resources, the Warcraft RTS team can deliver what we always wanted. But with this release, you said hello. And
Hi.
you set a standard for your work, and I don't want this to become the standard of your work. And I
Tunic,
don't
thank you
want
very
to
much.
see the green glow around the command card and see, oh, this is the team, this is what we get.
Warcraft 33 redestroyed.
You can definitely do better,
Redestroyed.
even with AI. We are here for you. People at the Hive workshop, they're there for you. Reach out. It is no shame to look for help when you're understaffed and underfunded. Guys are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They should... At the moment, the Reforged team and Chronicles of the Second War team are getting cucked over by the Reforged changes. I said Classic HD shouldn't be anything part of Reforged. It should be part of Classic. Reforged can be its own entity. It can be its own thing. But they keep trying to sort of swing Reforged in there. But Why not get those members on board? Like, they clearly put the time and effort in. You can clearly see they're worth it. So why not? Why not have some sort of small team that's dedicated to communicating with these people that live outside of the US, you know? Because obviously the problem with America, right? And I got a lot of problems with America because I'm British and I fucking hate that they stopped us from taking them over properly. God damn it. I could have... Oh, shit. Well, anyway, that's another problem. But California is expensive. You can't expect these people to be moved out there to live there. That's too difficult. So you have to have some sort of... Get wrecked. You have to have some sort of... some sort of situation between communication. Like, you need like a communications director between Blizzard and these Hive Workshop teams, the Chronicles of the Second War team, you know, like, it's just Reforged. It's just, why not use their talents? Or at least find some sort of way to compensate them, their talents, even if you're not willing to take them on board properly, to help at least get Warcraft 3 into a good position.
Use them. We're all rooting for you. What we can contribute and what you can use,
Yeah, how do you get them paid? On salary or by commission? In an ideal world, it would be salary. But like I say, you got this situation of different country. Yeah, Insane Monster, Reforged. Yeah, I've lost my track there. By commission. Yeah, it would have to be some... I don't know. I've never hired people. I don't know how this shit works, but I'm just thinking how. Like, how would you do it? And then just do it.
We all benefit from it. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I hope you realize that, and I hope you make use of all the amazing resources that are already available. This was part 1 of a couple of videos that talk about the flaws of 2.0. This was the most drastic one, for sure, because we have to be loud about this. We have to be loud about the ethical problem to fire 2D artists and then use the cheapest possible AI to give us downgrades after what was done with Reforged. And also to not give us what we want.
See if I can find the picture.
Hope you liked it or didn't like it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you see the problems with the icons in game? Do you have any ideas? Do you have any resources? Do you have a favorite model in the custom campaign that we would love to see? Because we all want more models, more skins, more everything. Let's use it. See you soon, guys. This was Blizzard. This is shameful. How bad AI ruins original art. See ya.
See, this is more of a Dota 2-esque looking version of Warcraft 3. I think the peon looks a bit brutally scuffed here, but it pops a lot more, doesn't it? That kind of artistic style. I'm not sure. It looks a bit grotesque in the same way Reforged does. It's like a little bit overly unflattering, but it's kind of got that cartoony vibe. Whereas this is what Reforged ended up being, so it needs to be more cartoony, poppy, fun. Yeah, not exactly like this, but you can tell sort of like it's more 3D and pops out like this original one does. Whereas this one is just, ugh, it's so... How did they think that was the way to go? What the fuck? That should be like a spell, like hypnotized or something. But that's what the actual icon is for a peon. How is that the icon? Why does he look like that? It's so strange they went with that direction. I just don't get it. If you get it, then drop a comment. What you think? Do you think that Blizzard is shameful? I don't know. I was starting to do a bit of a Santa voice. I just keep working and working. Ho, ho, ho. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Take care.